Okay, so here's an example of a traumatic pneumothorax, and hopefully if someone comes to the emergency department, either the EMS or the patient or someone with them is going to give you an idea of what has happened in the mechanism of injury, so you know how to start your triage as far as a trauma patient goes. But let's say that nobody came with the patient and you didn't know, but they were hypoxic and you got an X-ray and now you're surprised. So on this X-ray, the technique is pretty good. It's not a great inspiration. Small lungs, probably the person's hurting, so they're not taking a deep breath. The trachea is midline, the clavicles look good. The left lung is normally aerated, though small inspiration probably. And again, when you're starting to try to train your eyes to not just to be focused on the abnormality, but train yourself for a process, then you notice that this is more lucent than this. And indeed, if you follow this down, there's probably at least 2 rib fractures here and a pneumothorax here. I'm not sure that I can tell where the lung markings are going up, but this lung is clearly collapsed. This is air within the pleural space, and it's probably due to these rib fractures. There doesn't appear to be a pneumomediastinum because you can see the right heart border here, and there's no air in the pericardium on either side, and there's no obvious air in the mediastinum. So again, part of what you want to think about when you see an X-ray like this is not just, oh, I found a pneumothorax and I need to put a chest tube in, but then backtrack to what was the mechanism of injury. A peripheral rib fracture like this is probably not as big of a deal as if someone had central rib fractures that are closer to the sternum. And if the sternum is broken, then you have to start worrying about what mediastinal structures could be hurt as well, such as an aortic tear, a tracheal or a bronchial tear. So understanding the mechanism of injury is important for how many studies you are going to do to rule out something more life-threatening. So this patient would need probably a large bore chest tube placed towards the lateral aspect of the pleural space here. I usually try to put a 28 French chest tube in someone unless they're a little person. 28 French allows you to drain blood and air, and you would want to try to direct it superiorly so that you evacuate the air. But with a broken rib, you also worry about some occult bleeding, so you want the tube to be large enough that it could drain air and blood, and get a follow-up X-ray and make sure that they were expanded.